Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Hobo Yo-Yo back at it again. And I kind of want to talk about a game I've been working on for a long time called Banbard. 4 months, 5, 6 months is a long time, I guess. And I want to go over some ideas that I've been working on. So I want to make an RPG. I'm huge into game dev. I read books on it ad nauseum. I love RPGs to death. I want to make an RPG. So kind of started writing down some notes, and I got inspired by all of this by listening to a song of the same name called Banbard by Moselle. So, when creating stuff, when creating a project, I would always say go for the smallest scale you possibly can, because the project's going to take 5 times longer than you thought you should, and it's going to require 10 times the amount of work than you thought it should. So I wanted to try to spinball a concept. And from the cover page of Moselle's album that Banbard is on, I saw these trees and I thought, okay, well, what if it's, these humans, these tiny humans living in a giant tree? That's a cool concept. All right, now I need to work on from there. I want to try to create this world where this concept exists. So how does this world work? So my thought process was, okay, humans have been trapped in kind of this biome, or they've been shrunken down and they're encased in this area and they just can't escape and they're trapped there forever, and that sucks. All right, who are the antagonists? All right, you have humans. I'm going to have elves. It's a fantasy world. That makes sense. All right, but how do I go on from there? And I kept on going on and on, thinking of concepts and ideas. And I had to stop and pull back because I realized, all right, this is too much for me. The main hook that the humans are tiny in this biome controlled by elves, that's a cool twist. I like that as a plot point and a hook, but it's not feasible with my skill set as an artist or a spriter, because I don't have that. So I'd have to pay for somebody to do this. And I think it would be cool because normal monsters would be a huge threat. If you're tiny, depending on the size, a rat's a huge problem to deal with. A bird's a big problem to deal with. A boss could be like a wolf. That's going to be a boss because it's just so huge and intimidating on these players. So I went and scaled it back a bit. All right, well, what if they live in a giant tree and they're regular sized? And go on from there. Okay, so they're trapped in this kind of biome almost. Well, how are they trapped? How does this world work? And I kept on going on from there. The next part that I'm thinking about is battle mechanics. How do I want this game to be unique and stand out from other RPGs? I'm a huge fan of customability, so I wanted your characters to be customizable. So I I created this skill switch system where your characters have a certain skills and they'll equip gems or crystals, and that will change their skills. So if you have a powerful physical attack and you equip a fire crystal, it'll become a powerful fire attack. If you have a self-buffing move that increases your attack and you equip an earth crystal, that'll make it a defense increasing buff, and kind of go on from there. This is kind of similar to Final Fantasy VII with the material system. All right, well, where do these crystals come from? And I went on from there. So my next thought process is, okay, so these crystals come from the planet, and the planet kind of has like a magic buildup. And once too much magic is built up in a certain spot, it bursts from the ground and forms like a fissure or seams through the ground. And from that magical residue, it creates a crystal. Okay, it's called a seams crystal. What does a seams crystal stand for? Capital SEAMS. All right, it's going to stand for Super Elemental Art and Magic System. And that helped focus in on how this kind of combat would work, where humans would innately know arts or physical skills, and elves would know magical skills like fire and lightning. And by equipping these seam crystals and, experimenting, humans can learn magic, elves can learn physical offensive arts, and that would be one of the main gameplay hooks. Stepping back, looking at kind of this mental paper I have. My overview is, okay, so the setup is humans are trapped in some type of enclosed space or biome or magical field by the elves. The humans aren't aware of it. Are the humans aware that elves exist at all, or were they wiped out? Some thoughts to go forward with. The combat I have is I want it to be customizable, kind of like FF7, where you can swap equipment and it'll change your moves. Go from there. And my next step is I have the world, I have the combat. Who are the characters that are in this story? How do I want them to interact with the world around them? And what are the challenges they're facing in regards to the world that they're set in?